All right, here it is, the inspiration activation point. We are right in between the new moon and the full moon. We're at the first quarter moon right now, so that means we're just about halfway illuminated. So this is the point within the cycle, every time, every cycle, where we need to realign with our original intentions, which were set on the new moon. You know, however conscious or unconsciously done, we did it, whether we want to or not. We can't escape the initiation part of the cycle because we're all here doing it. We're all a part of this great life cycle. There's no one outside of it. So again, we're at that inspiration point, the midway point, and it's time to call upon the inspiration that we're needing. It's time to call upon the inspiration to be able to realign with our original intentions and to fully empower ourselves here now in the most efficient way to prepare ourselves to move forward into the second part of this cycle, onto the full moon. Okay, we're doing this, we're asking for this wisdom so that we can be shown a map that will guide us through this experience with the least amount of effort, with all of the guidance from the universe. Without chaos, without crisis, with ease and with grace. So which archetypes want to reveal themselves to us at this inspiration point in the cycle? What do we need to know that will help to pave a clearer path ahead? What wants to be revealed so that we can feel the most empowered right here, right now? And this reading is for the collective consciousness, so of course, it will apply individually as well because we're each a microcosm of the macrocosm that is us as a unified whole in reflection of the greater macrocosm, the all. So this will apply to your life individually, and it will also apply to your life as it connects with all of life. So we'll see these themes playing out in our everyday relationships and situations, as well as in our collective situation, politics, education, arts, all of these things are all being affected simultaneously because we are one. So here it is. This is the inspiration point, the inspiration activation tarot reading. Go ahead and empty yourself of any thoughts from the day, anything you've been holding on to, carrying with you. You can pick it up again in a moment if you must, but for this moment, put it down. Let it go fully. It's not going anywhere unless you want it to, but for this moment, I ask that you put it down. Because it's necessary to create the space to allow new information to come in. Chances are that information has been knocking and has been right under your nose this whole time. But in this moment, it's going to be revealed because we're making the space and because we're doing it together as one. And so in this moment, we are particularly empowering one another. And we are doing this through source energy because the universe itself is supporting this reading right now. It's in perfect alignment with the first quarter moon. All right, so once you feel like you've emptied yourself enough, like you've created the space to allow that new information to enter, stay there in that space, take a couple of breaths, and then do whatever you will to connect with the deck. You can do it in your mind, you can see it visually with your eyes wide open if you wanted to, but however you want to, however you desire, connect with this deck. Okay, archetypes, thank you for revealing yourselves to us in such a way that it paints a clear picture for us to move ahead with the most grace, the most ease, and without crisis, so that we can have an efficient map that will guide us to do the highest good for all as one. Okay, I pulled 5 cards. All right, interesting. We have cups, swords, and wands. So we have water, we have fire, and we have air. And where we're at right now is the 7 of Wands. And this is the card about standing up for our truth, really expressing our truth. And it's fire, it's wands, so it's full of passion and spirit. It's about standing up for what we know is right, but not doing it to the extent that is unnecessary, not wasting our efforts on explaining ourselves and defending ourselves where it's actually not really necessary. Rather, we can conserve our energy for when it's going to be for the highest good. You know, it's like you can say something over and over. You can even do something over and over, but some people just won't hear it, they just won't see it, they just can't perceive it because they can't believe it because it's not a part of their reality or consciousness. So in the end, you really have to be discerning about what is worth fighting for, what is worth defending. Speak up with passion when you know it's right, but then save your energy for the times when that's needed the most. So this is really where we're at right now, holding our ground. And it's interesting because if you look at this guy, he's up on the hill here. He obviously has the vantage point. Okay, from whatever's going on down here, it looks like there could be attackers, but again, he's up high. Or is it people cheering him on and rooting for him and agreeing with him? Ultimately, there will be people who agree with you and people who disagree with you. You have to stand up for what is right when it is right. The opportunities that surround us right now, we have 2 royal cards right now coming up. The opportunities that surround us are opportunities involving the archetypal energies of the Queen of Swords. She is the water of air. She is emotional independence. She's cutting through to the truth, with the truth of her heart. She's allowing her heart to guide her to her truth, and she's standing for that. And she's doing what she must to express and demonstrate her truth, her truest truth from her heart of hearts. And these are the opportunities that surround us right now. Independence, key word. So what crosses us right now, okay, challenges within those opportunities of independence. The Knight of Cups. It's the fire of water. It's the action upon the emotion. It's the acting upon the heart's knowing. What does your heart know to be true? What's keeping you from expressing that? What is keeping you from pressing go? What's keeping you from that green light? There's something your heart wants to express, and it's not so much that what's in the way or what's holding you back is a problem. In the end, problems don't exist. There are only solutions if we look a little bit closer, because everything's there to show us something. So that thing that's in the way, what is that thing that really wants to be heard or seen or worked through to be able to get to that point of freedom of expression? To do what you know you need to do, or say what you need to say. What is that thing? It's not so much a problem as it is the thing that, the treasure that we're trying to find right now, that we're trying to uncover. And I want to remind you, it's a collective consciousness reading, so how can we look at this together? What are we waiting for? Why are we holding back expressing our hearts and our truth and what we know in our heart to be true? What is keeping us back from doing that as a society? As a parent, as a sister, as a brother, as a mother, as a child, maybe toward our parents? What is keeping us from expressing our love and our truth to them? Because that love and truth should be one, aligned. So as an individual and as a member of this society, a collective society, what is holding us back from expressing our hearts? Once we access that understanding that is within this Knight of Cups, and we find what that thing is that's keeping us back, holding us back from expressing our hearts, we will then access the opportunities that surround us, again, the Queen of Swords, to their fullest potential. Then we'll really be able to pave our way independently, being guided from a place that is in touch with the heart. Then we'll be able to really access those opportunities. So right now we're looking at working on whatever those things are that are holding us back from expressing and acting on our heart's knowing. That will get us to access those opportunities of really making decisions, and the right ones that are centered in our heart, from our heart. Okay, and we're moving forward to another swords card, which is the Eight of Swords. It looks like this. And 8s are right before 9s, which are the ending of a cycle. So we're moving toward this part of the cycle, right before an ending, where we're going to be given the opportunity to really see the ways in which we've been holding ourselves back. And because it's swords, it's the mind, it's thoughts. Okay, she can easily, these bandages are loose, she could easily set herself free with any of these swords all around her. But she's keeping herself trapped, and that is the theme of this card. It's like, what thoughts are you attaching to? And through this victim mentality, projecting a reality that is one maybe you complain about, or you're sad about, or, you know, whether you complain out loud or inside your head, it doesn't matter. There's only one here, and you can't hide from those thoughts. So what are those uncomfortable feelings of being trapped in one dimension or another? And if you're trapped physically, you're trapped mentally, because one can't be without the other. They reflect one another. So in what ways are we feeling trapped? That's about to be revealed. We're going to see what thoughts we're holding on to that are manifesting into our reality, and seeing that it's our own doing. And then once we begin to observe that, again, like I mentioned a minute ago, it won't so much be a problem as it will be a key to setting ourselves free and accessing the opportunity to end, which comes after this, the Nine of Swords, end a cycle of a way of thinking once and for all, so that we can clear that program and replace it with a much more efficient one. So it's not something to be afraid of for those things to be exposed. In fact, it's the thing that we seek, that exposure, which leads to the freedom. So we're going to begin to see the ways that we've been tied up, and you can see that the Queen of Swords will really help to set ourselves free. It's almost like this is the lower self and this is the higher self. So we definitely have opportunities. We definitely always have the opportunity in each moment to set ourselves free of limited thinking and victimization. And something to remember as we move into this future of the Eight of Swords is the Page of Wands. The first card we pulled today was a Wands card, and the last one is also Wands. This is the Crown card. It's the ally. It's the one to remember. Stay open-minded. Don't be too hard on yourself. Remember that this is all about progression in spirit, that ultimately we take nothing with us to the grave, nothing of this material world. All that's real never dies, yes, and will go with us, and all that stuff is love and understanding and compassion. And that's why we're really here. And we need to remember that we're here to keep that open mind, to keep growing and learning, and stay lit. Keep our soul, that inner flame, lit. And if we do that, we don't have to fear whatever is to come, because we're going to always be going through these parts of the cycles again and again as we move through the wheel, lifetime after lifetime even. And we can't fear any one part of it. If we looked ahead and feared the ending, we would never begin. And we're here whether we like it or not. There's no way out. Even suicide, there's no way out. You'll end up right back where you started until you finish why you came here, and then you'll start a new journey again. So there's no way out of this wheel. So we better learn to love each part of the cycle. And I believe this is what this Crown card is telling us as a collective consciousness. Do not forget why you're really here. Have fun. Stay lit. Keep your soul's flame lit. And don't fear any one part of the cycle, but breathe right into it. Dive right into it. All you can do is really just understand it. It is you. Understand yourself. Know yourself. That's all you can do, rather than resisting each part of the cycle, which is inevitable for eternity. Instead, we can just deepen our understanding and compassion. And instead of drowning in the wave, we ride it. Don't fear the ending. Don't fear the middle. Don't fear the beginning. Ultimately, each one resides in the other. The one is in the three, which is in the two, which is in the three, which is in the one, which is... There's a little of one within the other, and this is the yin-yang of life. This is the yin-yang of eternity. So let's not fear what's to come, the exposure of where we're stuck, or where we've been victimizing, or where we've held on to terrorizing thoughts. Let's actually ask to be shown those things. Let's actually ask for this full moon on its way to fully illuminate all of those things that we haven't been looking at, so that we can look at them once and for all and face them, and then not only look at them, but look right through them onto the other side and begin a new cycle. So let's not fear this exposure that's to come. We're going to realize all the ways that we've just been keeping ourselves trapped. And we're going to say, you know what, I'm more equipped than ever. Because all of the opportunities right now are preparing us for this experience ahead. All of the opportunities right now are preparing us to get in touch with our hearts, to learn how to put that into action and express it, to be brave, to be bold, to cut through our own bullshit before trying to cut through anyone else's, because all that is just a mirror. And then, yes, learning how to set boundaries and learning how to be independent and do things on your own, because when you earn it yourself, it's more valuable, whatever it is. This is how we build value in life. So we don't have to be afraid of this time to come, because as soon as we approach this 8 of Swords where we're trapped, quickly we'll move on to the 9 of Swords where we set ourselves free and wake up from the illusion or nightmare that we've been creating and inflicting upon ourselves. There's never any part of the cycle to fear, because whatever we approach in life, whatever moment in space and time we are facing, it's for a reason. It is within divine order, because nothing is outside of that. And you can bet your ass that we have everything we need to meet that moment, or it wouldn't be happening. We really need to get this in our heads as a collective consciousness, as a collective mind. We need to have this deeper trust and faith. It's not some bizarre, otherworldly thing. It's right here, right now. It's within us, this truth, this knowledge, this knowing, intuition. What is there really to doubt? At this point, it's just a matter of reiteration, like a mantra every day. Just remind yourself and remind each other. Don't forget. Don't forget our power. Simple as that. Don't forget. The camera's always rolling, whether you remember that or not. Your eye, your inner eye, always sees, whether you do or not. So we can help each other to remember that all we need is always within us. And this great wheel in the sky is going to keep on turning, so we might as well dive right into this ocean of life, surrender to it, work with it, have fun, and remember why we really came here. To grow in spirit, to remain open to that spiral and that eternal flow of life. Thanks for tuning in for the inspiration activation reading. I hope this provided some clarity for you and some inspiration for you to move on through the next half of this moon cycle onto the full moon with trust and excitement and passion, so that when whatever is revealed under the light of that full moon is revealed, we more than know we're ready for it. We're so ready for it, we dance with it. Whatever it is in that moment, we welcome it. We're not moved by it. We're not surprised. We did that. That's how we're going to feel by the time of the full moon. Whatever is illuminated, then we'll say, of course, I get it. It's like the High Priestess to the Empress, the 3 and the 4 card. The High Priestess says, I know what's going on in my inner world. And because I know this, the Empress, the card after me, she manifests a world in its reflection. And that's a beautiful reflection, because I know myself within. Therefore, there is no inner conflict. And because there's no inner conflict, there's no outer conflict. There's no war. There's no destruction. There's only peace and harmony and beauty, because I know myself. And those shadows inside, I explore them and I face them. And there's nothing hidden there, because nothing can hide from the inner eye. So when that whatever that is comes under the light of the full moon, we will know, just like in all moments, we know why we are being faced with that situation or that thing or that person, or we will know, we will see the meaning in it, because we will recognize it as the fruit of the seeds that we planted, the manifestations of our thoughts, our inner, intimate thoughts. Meet your reality in that way. Like, of course I know why this is happening. I see this. I see you, life. I see you, creator, behind all these manifestations. I see me under there. I really feel that's what this cycle is truly about. Happy inspiration activation. Thanks, you guys. Shalom.